Good afternoon. Welcome to Musicians at Google in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Please silence all cell phones, real cutlery, anything that could make any noise. Thanks to David Flores, we have a remarkable event today. I am here to introduce Brad from Think Say Records, who are releasing David Duchovny's not solo album. He's recorded it with a band. Sorry, first mistake already. He's chuckling. David Duchovny's new album, Hell or Highwater. We are the second audience who will be hearing anything from this album. He's going to be playing more from it tonight at Berklee School of Music, but they have to wait for us. So without further ado, let me introduce Brad from Think Say, who's going to say some more.
So I'm Brad from Think Say Records, which we are located right here in Boston, Massachusetts. And we are here today to introduce David Duchovny. I want to thank him for coming out here today. That'll be good, thanks. Giving his time. We're a small independent record label, and we put out maybe like 1 to 3 records a year. And through a mutual friend over a year ago, I was introduced to David, and he played me some of the songs that he wrote, and I really loved them. I thought the melodies were really cool, and I thought lyrically they were just like, wow, these are like, you could be a musician. And then we just started like talking, and we kind of vibed over the same sort of stuff, and it became a real project for me. Like the journey of making this record was something when I was in like summer camp and with Dave Flores was like summer camp with, and we would just listen to records like over and over again, and you'd be like, oh, someday like we're gonna be in the studio and we're gonna be making records with our friend, and that never like ever happens until I worked at Sony Music for 20 years, and I worked with everybody from Beyonce to Johnny Cash to John Mayer, and like it never happened until this project came along that was just so niche and so cool and so left of center, and I just entered on like a real journey with David and with everybody at Think Say and everybody on his team to make this record, and it just became that project that you dream about, that like that was something I 100% did for the journey and the ride, and like the business end, we'll make some money, we'll lose some money. We don't know exactly what's going to happen there. Hopefully make some money, but if not, we sleeping on David's couch, and it's still nicer than my house. So the point is like it's one of those dream projects. Like there's something you're passionate about. I was passionate about REM and the Smiths and Lou Reed and Bob Dylan, and for me, like those are my heroes. And then when you see reviews in Rolling Stone about the album that's coming out, and it says like sounds like The Cure and REM and Lou Reed and Bob Dylan, and you're like, wow, this is trippy. So kind of like the guy probably that started Google, but he made like a ton more money. Like like he had an idea, and that really panned out well for a lot of people. So anyways, I want to introduce David. We're going to play like a song. We're going to play 4 tracks off the record, and then in between, I'm going to ask a couple questions, and we're going to hand it over to you guys to ask questions to David about what's going on in his life and his career. So, I just want to thank quickly the people that really helped do this: David Flores, Kathleen, Kerry Lee, the band, of course. But me and my friend were sitting on the couch one day watching like Californication. I was like, you work at Google, like maybe I'll come by with David. Like, do you think people would be interested? And he's like, yeah, definitely. I'm like, okay, cool. So then now we're here. So that's how it happened. But without further ado, the people you really want to see, the band, Colin Lee, Pat McCusker, and David Duchovny.
Hi. I have this USB thing that goes in the... Yeah. So these are the stripped down versions of songs on the album. So I guess we call them acoustic, but we seem to be amplified, so it's kind of in between. But what are we going to start with? 3000. It has some New York geography. I apologize for that in this song. There's a lot of Central Park imagery, so forgive me. East and west stare each other down, opposing sides of a divided town. Like soldiers frozen in the coldest war, they've forgotten what they're fighting for. I keep to my side and see the moon watching over you and me. When you dream, do you still keep up the fight? Deaf to my footsteps in the middle of the night. 3000, 3000, 3000 steps in the dark. 3000 steps across the park. 3000 steps, might take some more. 3000 steps to your door. Reservoir is then I know I don't have far. When I roll down Madison, you're about to find out why I've come. 3000, 3000, 3000 steps to have my say. 3000 steps on feet of clay. 3000 steps, so close, so far. 3000 steps in the park. I will walk through the meadows of sheep. You hidden in the shadows of sleep. I will ramble through the strawberry fields, each step another sign of what I feel. You and I shoot each other down, opposing sides of a broken crown. If we survive this civil war, we will recover what's worth fighting for. 3000, 3000, 3000 steps through heaven and hell. 3000 steps, forget about 12. 3000 steps, might as well be alone. 3000 steps from you. 3000 steps from you.
So it sounded great. It's the second time you've ever performed in front of people.
That's the happy song.
Yeah. So it's been definitely a busy year for you, and being part of making this record was interesting. It's the first time I made an album with, I don't want to say someone like David. He's sort of a unique guy in his own, but somebody that's had massive success on the Hollywood side.
Where'd my band go?
Oh, they're done. They left.
What the hell?
One song.
Stay out here. We're gonna sing some
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have questions for you too.
Yeah.
so trying to just schedule and make this all happen was, a little bit longer than making a traditional record. But David decided to write a book in between it all, and then was coming off filming a new show for NBC called Aquarius, which we'll talk about in a bit. And X-Files coming back, filming this summer. So a lot of stuff going on, and we'll get to that too. So. In terms of like writing an album, it's a very real record. Can you talk a little bit about the process of actually making the music, like how these songs came to you? Are these a collection of thoughts over years of time? Is it a certain period, and just taking the jump from the Hollywood side to say I'm going to really write songs?
Well, it's yeah, I guess it's a certain period. All the songs have a certain kind of flavor to them, I think. It's like a snapshot of a certain time, but I think I never had an idea that I would that I would make an album. I mean, I was just sitting. I have a phone that records things on it. You guys might have heard of it. Okay, I won't do jokes like that so much. I thought they'd go over better, but they're not going over well at all. Anyway, so I have GarageBand on my phone. And I just use it as a tape recorder because I can't even figure out how to do multi-tracks on it. And I only play one instrument, so it doesn't matter. So, so I would just sit there and I'd after I figured out that there are only so many chords that you can play on guitar, and in rock and roll there are only so many chords. And these songs that I like, there are only so many chords. And I at some point I knew most of them, so I thought, well, maybe if I can come up with a melody, well, I can write a song. So I started doing that. The words for me. Were always first, and always, I don't want to say easy, but easier. And so I just started putting words on the melodies and putting them on my phone. And I thought, oh, well, I've written some songs that are on my phone. I hope nobody finds my phone. And then through Keaton Simons, I met Brad, and Brad was really, kept pushing me to get better, and just to get better and to get more serious about recording, and and hooked me up with Colin and the rest of the guys, and we made it into an album. I love the sound of it. I can't believe that I'm part of it. It's the weirdest feeling. I'm not sure it's real, but he showed me the physical, the box. You got the box?
Carrie, do we have that somewhere?
This morning was the first time I saw it, and I was like, give me that.
Oh, it's probably in my bag.
I didn't answer any question, but I said some things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that one of the things that stood out to me most in this project is
Why isn't it in my bag? Why is it in my bag? It should be in my bag.
That's only the proof. We don't even. It's not even out yet. I think it's in the middle pocket.
Hell or Highwater, which is the single. Brad loves that song, and he would not stop. He's just such a pain in the ass. I only have my voice. It's not, it's a small instrument, and Brad was like, sing better, and I hate it.
Not exactly like that.
No, he's very encouraging. No, that didn't sound. I sounded like I was being ironic, but he's actually a total enthusiast and makes a lot of stuff possible. Like, he's one of those guys that tells you that it can be done, which is rare. Most people tell you it can't. But even so, he was a real pain in the ass about that song. And we finally got it last winter. Look at that thing. Yeah,
Tell them about the album cover.
It's upside down. Yeah. Anyway, so more?
Tell them about the album cover.
The album cover is, there's a camera on my phone. And I took that picture. I was down vacationing with my kids, and it's just a reflection. And I was taking a picture of them. You can't see them; they're in the room, and you only see me. But then it's not important.
I think the part of the picture of that is we would often practice in David's living room, and then through the months and months, you're thinking about art and how you want to market the record and et cetera. And I always love kind of the black and white imagery we all kind of did. And then coming up with the album cover took like ever. And then finally we were like, wait, this picture that's been hanging above us while we've been making this album, let's just use that. Yeah. And that's how it came together.
And it was cheap because I took it.
And it was cheap. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's hear another song.
Let's go Let It Rain. There's a lot of rain on the album.
If you knew me, you would stay. If you knew me, you would walk away. We don't get black and white. Ours is only shadow light. This is how it goes. 1 year's golden and the next one blows. It could be I am wrong, mistaken breaking dusk for dawn. You see, I've heard of this before. My glass ceiling could be your ground floor. If I knew better, I would stay. If I knew better, I would walk away. Like the earth that splits and moans, a woman by her faults is known. I don't see cracks in sin, only see how the light gets in. The gray sky, it threatens rain above. As our love, it threatens pain, my love. You can't hurt the one you already left behind. Walk it back, baby, take another breath. Rewind and let it rain. Let it rain. There is nothing you could do to make me turn my back on you. There is nothing you could say. I've imagined worse anyway. The waves break on the shore. The shore only waits for more. Like the earth that splits and moans, a woman by her faults is known. I don't see cracks in sin, only see how the light gets in. The gray sky, it threatens rain above. As our love, it threatens pain, my love. You can't hurt the one you already left behind. Walk it back, baby, take another breath. Rewind.
That sounds great. Like David said, I'm a bit of a miser when it comes to sound. So when it sounds perfect, I'm that one like weird guy that's like, no, one more time, and then that's like 6 hours later. You're like, okay, we got it.
You want me to sing it again, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I remember we were in the studio and starting, and Colin Lee here, who is the producer of the record. Colin, I met through is one of the girls that works with me, Kerry. That's Kerry's brother, and he's been a musician in his own band called Weather. And I really thought he'd be a great match with David to help bring out the ideas. And I remember it was like the first day in the studio, and it was like the first line of the first song. We're like, okay, take one. And then it was like 100 versions of the line. And then Colin came in the studio, and like David couldn't hear us. So he was just seeing like me, Carrie, and Colin being like, you know, and then he was like, is everything cool in there? We're like, yeah, we're just listening to an edit. Yeah, everything's cool. And then Colin was like, we're going to be here all day. Do you know how long this is going to take? Do you know how long this is going to take? Santa's not going to be happy. The toys got to get out.
I don't know if I should be here for this story.
Oh,
First I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, now you know.
We'll show you what I looked like at the end of 4 hours of trying to sing one song.
Exactly. So the first day was a little rough, as you see the way David wound up, because, you know, this is a new process for all of us doing this, and it was interesting because the first day I think we got through, you know, not as
One
much.
song.
One song. But then the next day, within the morning alone, we did like 3 songs in like 3 hours. So David really put in a lot of time and work into the music, into the vocals, and to hear it even now, and the second time you're playing it, it's really amazing. It's a job well done.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to ask that I think was special to me through the project, and I always try to teach the younger kids that are now working for my company, is taking shots in life. Like, my philosophy is take shots, pay bills. So if you can pay your bills and take shots, you're good. And that's what I do, like, in my life. But David, for somebody who's had, you know, a lot of success in 2 different, you know, Golden Globe performances for 2 different major characters, this year you really did venture out. You know, you wrote your first book called Holy Cow, which is recently out and New York Times bestseller. And this album, like, I thought maybe you'd talk a little bit about taking shots and trying new things at this point in your career.
I think that when I talk to my kids, I always talk to them about failing, and I always say, you know, and I was lying in bed this morning. I was trying to come up with a pithy thing, and I'm going to try it out on you. I'm going to try and make it into Bartlett's today. So, success is a lecturer, failure is a teacher. Anybody? Not bad? Not bad, Bartlett's? I don't like the word lecturer. It's clunky, but anyway, that's the way I feel. It's like you don't really learn from success, you know. You learn maybe intellectually, but failure teaches you how to be a human being and an adult and a person and empathetic and human. And so I try to teach my kids to be comfortable failing. Not comfortable, that's the wrong word, but I think you know what I mean. And then, so in taking my shots, I just feel like, well, all I can do is fail. I mean, that's like the worst that can happen, so what? So, and then I can try something else or try it again or whatever. And I'm lucky enough to have had success in one area where the failure doesn't seem as dire, like if I were to fail doing other things. So I might be full of shit because it's a bit of a safety net, but in fact, I am full of shit. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I think creatively putting yourself out there in other arenas, there's certainly a real risk factor. It might not be if the book didn't have success.
People are gonna make fun.
Yeah.
People make fun. Whatever.
Haters gonna hate. You know.
Hit it.
Wanted to talk about one more thing. We're going to go to another song, and then when I come back, I'm going to hand it over to questions from you guys. The next, Hell or High Water is out May 12th, and you can watch David perform on the Today Show May 12th or Live with Kelly on May 14th. and tonight at the 939 Cafe in Boston, which is at Berkeley, and all the members of the band are Berkeley members, which is how we kind of put this whole thing together. But after that, he takes about like a day off, and then your new show, Aquarius, airs on NBC. Why don't you give him a little bit of what the show is all about? It's May 28th, and it's the first time, which I think is really interesting, as X-Files is the longest running sci-fi show in the television. Aquarius, which NBC is releasing full streaming of the entire first season, and this is the first time a major network is doing that. I think it's kind of cool to be on, you're in the history books both times there. But tell us a little bit about the show.
Just quickly, I'll tell you. I play a homicide detective in 1967 in L.A., and the love of my life was gone on to marry a lawyer who's trying to get Ronald Reagan elected governor at the time. Their daughter disappears, a 15-year-old girl who runs away with a bunch of hippies to go live in the desert, and she's 15 years old, so she wants her daughter back, and doesn't want any notoriety because her husband and the family is a big right-wing power. So she calls me, her old love, to go find her daughter, and I track her down. There she's living in the desert with a fellow named Charlie Manson. So that's the beginning of the story, and that's 2 years before the Tate LaBianca murders. So he's just kind of a con man, pimp, not a big deal. The name doesn't ring anybody's bell, and that's how we start.
Cool. All right, let's hear another song.
When the time comes, all I have done, all that is and all that was, all I've torn and more destroyed and undone, will be seen as one. We will be as one when the time comes. I know why my caged bird sings. He's blaming others for cagey things. The devil and the angel in the wings are revealed as one. It's always just begun when the time comes. The future runs up ahead of me, holding hands with my sometime enemy. The present cannot keep its shit together. It's only the past that lasts forever. We will see that we have seen our kingdom come and gone when the time comes. Jack and Jill ran out on their bill. When Jack fell down, he found his crown. When Jill came tumbling after, that's when they died of laughter. We recall all rhymes and songs. The exile shall again belong. We will see that what we seek was inside all along. When the time comes, when the time comes, when the time comes.
So we're going to open up some questions to the audience. Carrie back there has the live mic. So if there's somebody that has a question for David, wants to raise their hand. And just to let you know, it's David, after Aquarius, is going to be filming this summer 6 episodes of X-Files, which I'm sure some of you know. And there's no script yet that he has in hand.
X-Files created Google.
What's that? Exactly.
X-Files created Google.
So
Everybody knows that.
that's what he's doing next. So you can tell from book to show to album to show. It's pretty busy. So it's exciting. You're a good guy. Just want to let him know. So we'll open it up to the audience.
Hello.
What, if you wanted to say what your name is.
Oh, sorry. My name's Anna Cosmas. Hi.
Hi.
I was thinking we can't have a celebrity in the house without a famous group selfie. So, are you ready?
How do I do that?
I'll come up there.
I think we're going to do that at the end.
Okay. I'll see.
Yeah. I think we're going to do the group
A
selfie.
selfie. You mean like
That's like where you're like you've got a behind
it's a
you.
Google thing. It's just
Yeah,
like a
it's Google.
technological thing I don't get.
It's Google.
Oh boy. Okay. I'll ask a real question. Okay. Who
Somebody
is-
said Twitter mirror to me the other day, and I was like, nah, I'm done.
I'll ask a real question.
Yeah, that's okay.
Who was your muse for this album?
God, I don't know. You know, just getting the music together, hearing the melodies, and then just putting the words down. I mean, I like to think that the songs just stand on their own, and I don't really like songs to be explained to me unless they don't make any sense, and because I think songs are really for the people that listen to them. The songs are not for me at all anymore. So I would like to shut up about the songs and what was a muse, or what was I thinking about, or what does that mean, and you know, let it mean something to you if it does, and if it doesn't, I'm sorry, but you know, I think songs are for others. I hope they are anyway.
Okay, thanks.
I can tell you, like, I'm up early. David's up early, so I have 2 dachshunds. One's named Tom Brady, and the other Lord Fenway. So, Lord Fenway is like the queen of queens, like glorious fur, and she thinks she's like the mayor of Boston, and she doesn't move for anybody. But anytime I play just David's music, and I would videotape it and text to him like all the time, it was like just kind of a running joke. Like you'd play it, she'd be sleeping at the end of the house, and she'd like hear it, walk over a little bit, and then just sit in front of the speaker like that. So I mean, that's like the #1 fan of the music from the beginning, like every morning. That's the muse. That was the muse, really.
I have a whole set of.
Yeah, there's probably like 800 videos
It's like
of Lord.
4-second videos of just a dog like turning a corner.
So funny. Okay, another question.
Hi, my name is Paolo Pacelli, and my question is, coming from another creative profession, the songwriting and album producing experience was new for you as far as craft goes. What was the funnest thing about this new craft, and what was the hardest thing about this new craft?
Well, since I don't have to record my own guitar on the album, that would have been the hardest, because I'm kind of self-taught with the guitar, because one of the ideas for me when I wanted to start playing guitar was I didn't want it to feel like work at all, so I was like, no lessons, I don't want lessons. So I was stupid, because I have really bad habits, and I can't play the same thing twice the same way. So it's not good for me to ever record, probably. I'll never be able to break that habit. But the hardest part was just my voice, really. I mean, I've never been a singer, and I've often been told to stop singing, and it's true. And the fact that I'm up here singing in front of you is unbelievable to me. I'm not kidding. So when I started talking about Brad about recording, I found a voice teacher in New York just by chance who's amazing, is amazing, a guy named Don Lawrence. And in 20 minutes, he had me not singing, but he had me thinking about singing in a way that I'd never thought before. And it's amazing when you find a real teacher. Just very lucky. And so I've been, just practicing singing for a year now. Every day I sing a little bit. I do my scales. So, that's been the hardest part, and just committing to that and trying to sing. It's not me, but here I am, subjecting you to it.
I'm going to go with another question in the back right.
Thanks for coming out. Quick question that you always ask people who are into music. What have you been listening to recently? So what records? Oh, hey, I'm in the light.
There you are. Okay.
What records have you been listening to recently? Are there any bands? We've had a lot of bands that come out of Boston, and just want to know what's been inspiring you recently.
I tended not to listen to music while we've been doing the record, only because I find that if I read when I'm writing, I tend to just write when I'm reading, and that's illegal. So I haven't really been listening. But historically, I'm just like a '60s, '70s guy. Straight ahead rock and roll, British Invasion, Beatles, Stones, Who, Zeppelin. But then I go to Tom Petty, and I love Dylan and Wilco. Bands, REM, I love. I love a lot of different kinds of music.
Your kids, you know all the modern stuff too. Like we were hanging out yesterday, and you were like, "This is Arctic Monkeys. I love this band." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm hip. I like Electric Feel by MGMT. How old is that? It's already old, right? But I like it. You don't know it? Yeah, that's a good groove, right? Next time we'll do that.
Another question.
That's it. Nothing. Okay, Emily. Nothing.
Last. Here we go on the left. I think she's gonna bring the mic over.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Ed.
Hi, Ed.
I was listening to the lyrics on your first song that you played, and I was wondering, do you wear a Fitbit? Just because we have a step competition here, so yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say only at Google will I be asked that question. I hope. It's funny because just last weekend I made the journey of which I was writing about, and I was like, I'm going to count the steps. And I kept on getting lost. I had hundreds on my fingers. I do not have a Fitbit. So I'm so old school. As they said in Larry Sanders, they tore down my school to build the old school. So I was like 100, 400, 500,000. It was in the neighborhood of 3,000. It might have been a little less. But the chorus doesn't sound as good as 2,796. 2,796.
I think we have another one up here.
Hi, I'm Bertha. I'm also writing music right now. So what's your music writing process?
It was just because it was just whenever it happened. I mean, I'd sit down and I'd start playing the guitar, and I'd have like 3 or 4 chords that I liked the way they fit together, and then I would just maybe hear a melody on top of that, and then the words were just easy. I mean, I had like a booklet of thoughts more than words, and that's it. Just kind of all at the same time, at all, rather than one before the other. But I would say the chords and the melody first, and then lyrically, I never worry about the lyrics coming. It was really, will I ever think of another melody? That's always, I'm not sure. Oh,
There's one up
a
front.
ringer. We have a ringer in the house. Full disclosure. Before the question, full disclosure.
Full disclosure, we're related. So how do your kids feel about Dad suddenly becoming a rock star?
They're embarrassed. Yeah, they're like making believe it's not happening at all. I'm sure they are. I mean, they have not asked to hear anything. And I do have a concert. We have the album release concert next week in New York, and I've not invited them. It's late. It's past their bedtime. It's funny. I can only think and hope that that they get exactly what I wanted them to get out of it, which was just try things, So I think because they would do play a little something. This is how they react to. So that's what I get from them.
It is funny because sometimes we play at your house, it's like 100% music, and then when your kids come home, it's like 0% music. It's like we don't talk about it in front of
Right.
it's its own
It's a
entity.
dirty secret.
Yeah. Let's we have one more question,
But
then
I do
we'll
have
do
one song that's
we'll do a final
specifically
song.
for West called "Stay on the Train" that we won't be doing here.
You're not gonna play Hell?
Unless you want to.
No, I think we should do Hell maybe.
Oh, you want to do Hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's
anyway. So
let's see if we do one more question or a final question before the last song, right up front here on the right, or both. We'll do two more.
Thank you.
Hi,
I'm Libby.
Can I get a Fitbit? For free? I get one for free? If you show me how to use it. Where do I put it? On my foot? On your belt?
You
does
gotta
it
Google
know?
this stuff, man.
How does it know? That's incredible. I want a Fitbit. Huh? All hell's breaking loose now. All right. Where?
Okay, we'll go last question and then the final song.
I'm Libby. I don't have a Fitbit. And so being a creative person, acting and writing and now doing music, is there one at this particular moment? I'm sure that the singing is, but is there one that you're like surprised or that really kind of like fills your soul in a way that you didn't really expect it to?
No, I think they all do something. I mean, they're all. I feel like just like an expressive person. Like I'm just trying to express something, and it gets. I'm having an image right now of like the cake thing when you squeeze the icing, and like it's a different size nozzle sometimes. So that's gross. So I guess that's the way I feel about it. It's just like it's. I just try to stay creative and try to stay try to stay alive and growing and challenged and challenged. I try to be challenged and someone has asked me yesterday like challenging myself, and I was like, well, maybe it would be nice to not be challenged. It would be nice to just relax a little bit, but apparently that's not what I'm into. So. That's all. I don't know. I couldn't. I love directing too. I haven't done much of that recently. So I like sitting in the dark, yelling instructions.
So this is gonna be the last song, Hell or High Water, and then after the song, if everybody wants to stay seated, we'll do the group selfie shot. And thank everybody again. But this is the single Hell or High Water.
And thanks for coming out and being here, because really this is like rehearsal for us. So it's great to give it. Thank you for the opportunity to rehearse with your lovely sound system.
done some good, I've done some bad, like any man, I bet. A man of words is a man of lies, but words is all I get. I can't make you feel safe and sound. They got guns and crosses for that. I can only hang around until you realize where it's at. 'Cause I can't make it rain, and I can't make it shine, and I can't turn this shitstorm into some rainbow sun shower of holy red wine. But in the test of our love, in the test of my love, in the test of our love, darling, yeah. If it's multiple choice, I gotta mark none of the above. But I said I'd love you forever, come hell or high water. Well, babe, the flood's in. Take my hand, fire purges, let rivers wash us clean of our sins. I'll see you all in white again. We'll beat the devil, all it will be well. I will stand here forever. Come on, rushing waters, heartbreaking hell. I can't turn day into night. I can't turn lead into gold. I'm not even sure I can see the light to get us off this goddamn dead-end road. 'Cause I can't make it rain, and I can't make it shine. I could try to erase the past of pain, but honestly, baby, who has that kind of time? So in the test of our love, when push comes to shove, in the test of our love, darling, yeah. If it's multiple choice, I'm gonna mark all of the above. 'Cause I said I'd love you forever, come hell or high water. Well, babe, the flood's in. Take my hand, fire purges, let rivers wash us clean of our sins. I'll see you all in white again. We'll beat the devil, all ill will be well. I will stand here forever. Come on, rushing waters, heartbreaking hell. I won't wipe away the tears you cry with any tissue of lies. You can build your life on empty promises, or with a man who promises to try. See, 'cause I can't stand out in the rain, and I can't work under the sun, and I can't outwait your disdain till all this nonsense is done. I said I'd love you forever, come hell or high water. Well, babe, the flood's in. Take my hand, fire purges, let rivers wash us clean of our sins. I'll see you all in white again. We'll beat the devil, all it will be well. I will stand here forever. Come on, rushing waters, heartbreaking hell. Thank you.